Hey y'all, welcome back. I know it's been a minute. Today I'm talking about how I transitioned into tech from a completely different field with absolutely no experience, no degree in anything related to this field, no certificates, no training, no e-courses, no anything, no associates, nothing. So let's back up a little bit and talk about my professional background. I'll make it brief. So I actually graduated with a master's degree in counseling, and that was definitely what I wanted to do. I did that for about 8 or maybe 9 years, and I mean everything: at-risk youth, intensive event home, involuntary commitments, working in the emergency department, psych wards. Working in the psych ward was low-key my favorite. My last counseling job was in 2018, and during that time I worked with military families. I was a military and family life counselor. So in 2018 I had a choice. I could stay in Fayetteville another year, renew my lease and renew my contract working for military families, or I could move back to Raleigh, get a counseling job there, or I could switch it up, shake it up altogether. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna shake this thing up. So I resigned from my job completely because honestly I did not want to stay in Fayetteville another year. I just could not do it. I didn't know anybody there. I had no community, no friends, no nothing. Now around this time I had a few friends that were like well into their career, like they were making money, you know, and I liked what I did, but I was doing the Lord's work. Now you don't make a lot of money in counseling, but it's very meaningful. I think the most I ever made, I'm gonna be dropping some numbers in this video. I hope y'all are comfortable with that. But like the most I made in counseling was about like 64, 65. Now this was like years ago. So I would think like by now that's probably maybe up to like the upper 60s, but I wasn't making like a lot of money. So I was just like, what would it be like if I got a job in the corporate world? Like they're going on these business trips, they're making this money, they're telling me these stories, and I was just like wondering like, no one's depending on my income. This is the perfect time. Like I'm young, I'm free, I have no kids, I have no husband. So fast forward to about January 2019, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start applying to jobs. My work break is over. I was applying. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. There's so many tech jobs here. I have a master's degree. Somebody's gonna hire me. Like they're gonna give me the chance to apply these skills. They're gonna think my background is interesting. I'm gonna get interviews. I got nothing. Like I can't tell you how many jobs I applied to. Now I know some of them I didn't qualify for, but I was just like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, yeah, I'm applying for this engineering role. Of course, why not? Like during that entire time, I didn't even have an interview at all. It was just nope or no answer. I tried to like network as much as I could. I even went so far as to start doing Uber so that I could network a bit more, because other than that, like there weren't really many networking opportunities for me. So I specifically did Uber in the area where there were like a lot of tech companies in the RTP area, and I got some good advice, but it didn't lead to anything. So folks were saying like, oh, go and do these free courses on Coursera. MIT has some stuff, you know, really figure out like what you want to do, One guy even said that I'll pass your resume on over. You could be a good blah, blah, blah. And I was getting excited. And none of that panned out to anything. So I remember having multiple conversations with my brother, like, look, you know, a lot of people like hook me up. You know anybody? He was like, no, I can't think of anybody. There was this one particular company. I don't know if I'm ready to drop names, but let's just say it's in Cary. It's a tech company and it has an amazing campus. It was just like a dream to work there. I mean, they have everything on this campus. It is basically Google on the East Coast. I mean, they have guitar lessons, you can go swimming on your lunch break. The food on campus is cheap and amazing. You go to the doctor for free. Like it's just so much. I could just go on and on and on. And I applied to this one company 25 times. 25 times. I didn't even get so far as a rejection email. They just didn't respond. So literally one day my brother went to like a Super Bowl party and one of his homeboys was there and he was like, oh, that company my sister has been trying to get into. He told him a little bit about me, about my background, what I was up to. And his friend was like, okay, shoot, tell her to send me her resume. Let me take a look at it. Literally the next day, I sent my resume, and I want to say the day after that, or even that same day, I heard from him and was invited to an interview. When they say it's all about who you know, yeah, it's all about who you know. And to be honest with you, the majority of the folks that I ended up working with on my team, all of them, with the exception of maybe one or two, got that position because they knew someone that worked for the company. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but we're not here to talk about that. So he replied back after seeing my resume. It was just like, hey, we think you'll be good for this role, a role I hadn't even applied to. And I was doing my research on roles that would mesh well with like counseling and tech, how we can merge them. I was thinking maybe HR, maybe a customer solutions manager, a customer success manager. And I was like, one thing I'm absolutely not doing is sales. Like, ain't no way I'm about to be in this rat race, have my name up on like the loser board or the leader board. Just, I don't want that kind of pressure of having to meet a quota. Like, sales is never for me. I mean, never gonna happen. Child, tell me why I ended up in sales. So he saw my resume. He said, you'd be perfect for this job. We want to invite you in for an interview, but the problem is you haven't even applied. Girl, this was a job I hadn't even applied for. They had to send me the job just for me to apply, to have the paperwork in. And literally, like probably that next week or so, I had an interview over the phone. I did another interview in person, which was like multiple people. And I want to say that was it. There may have been like one more that was like a role play. And it was a sales development representative, or in some companies they're called business development representatives or lead development representatives. They're all the same thing. This was explained to me like this is like a 1 to 2 year opportunity, and then from there you move up. And I mean, when you move up, you move to like an account rep or inside sales rep where you make a lot more money. But I knew after like a year and a half, like there's no way I could stay. If it's a bigger company, okay, maybe you'll stay like 2 years, because you know from here, your next step, if you continue in sales, you're like an inside sales rep, or sometimes you go straight to the field depending on your company, or you just become an account manager. Your income will likely more than double, because this role was entry level. Now, that's gonna humble you a little bit. I didn't make much money than what I made in counseling, but I knew that this was my foot in the door, because here I am, I'm 30 something already. Like, I'm already 30 something. I have a master's degree and I'm working shoulder to shoulder with like kids straight out of college, and I was just like, what? Do I think this transition was worth it for me? 100%. I was doing the Lord's work in counseling. I was really doing the Lord's work, and I didn't like dislike it, other than when I worked for small agencies. Like my other jobs, like I liked it, and I wasn't making crazy money, but it's just me, like I was comfortable. And to me, $65,000 was kind of a lot of money, like at the time. One thing I feel like I know for a fact somebody's gonna ask is about the money. And I've seen like so many TikTok videos and like even videos on here where girls are talking about 6-figure salaries, 200K, 250 to 300K. And it's like, is that real? Are they really making that much money? And yeah, they're not lying. A girl that I know, she has more experience than me. I think she has like 6 or 8 years, but we have the exact same job title. And I asked her, I was like, how much you make? She was like, last year she made $275. Child, if you're in a position where you're thinking about making a transition to tech, I would say do it, because why not? Like, you're just gonna, like, the time is just gonna go by anyway, so why not do something? Why not take the risk? Why not switch up your career? Why not do something you've always wanted to do? Why not increase your income for your family? No, you do not have to have a certificate, a whatever, a cloud certification or anything like that, unless you know specifically the role that you absolutely want requires those things. But to get into this industry, no, you don't need any of that. But I will be honest and say that everyone that I worked with did have some sort of degree. Not tech related whatsoever, but a degree in something. I would say get your LinkedIn together. Network like crazy. If you see there's happy hours in your area, go. If you see there's a person who went to your school who works for a company that you want to work for, connect with them. After a while, send them a message, let them know what you're trying to do. If they don't seem like they're interested in helping you, move to the next person. Do it with the next person. Like, always try to connect with someone, because they're gonna know someone that could put you on. Will I be doing this 10 years from now? I have no idea. Honestly, hopefully somebody will housewife me and that's my dream job. But if I'm still here, we'll just see. I'm still in sales. I no longer work for that company. I work for another company, which is a big tech company, which, thank God, like, transitioning to big tech after only 2 years in the tech industry was crazy. And I did that with absolutely no help whatsoever. It's been a wild ride. I'm gonna have to tell y'all some of these stories. in the next video or whatever. So I'll do that. And drop any other questions that you have below. Like, don't be shy to ask very specific questions. I'll answer. Okay, bye. Do I know how to talk or what? I'm trying to will this thing in a little bit. I feel like I'm talking too much. It's been a year. Ups and downs. Depression. Hey y'all, welcome to, my gosh, that sounds stupid. Oh my gosh, $100,000? What? That's crazy.